Hi guys, today we are going to discuss the effect of climate change on the Zika virus. Here's an overview of my presentation. We're going to start with the background of the Zika virus and the background of the mosquito that transmits it. Then we're going to look at how the Zika virus causes illness in humans, which mosquitoes transmit the Zika virus, how humans are causing climate change, and how climate change shifts the ranges of the mosquitoes, and finally, why mosquitoes are moving closer to humans. And at the very end, we're going to wrap it up in a take-home. So starting with the background of the virus, the Zika virus was discovered in 1947 in the Zika forest of Uganda. It was isolated from a monkey. The first case in a human occurred in 1952 and resulted in a fever and a mild headache. From 1952 to 2007, there were few cases in humans, and all of them resulted in a fever and other mild symptoms. In 2007, an outbreak occurred on Yap Island. This resulted in 73% of the population becoming infected. New symptoms such as rashes, conjunctivitis, and arthralgia appeared. Another outbreak occurred in 2013 in French Polynesia. This resulted in 11% of the population being infected. More severe symptoms, including Guillain-Barré syndrome and microcephaly, appeared during this outbreak. In 2016, the World Health Organization declared Zika to be a major health concern due to the severe birth defects that many infants were suffering when they were born to infected mothers. Okay, moving on to the background of the mosquito. The Zika virus is typically transmitted by mosquitoes in the Aedes family. Most commonly, the mosquitoes Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus. These mosquitoes like warm climates with relatively high humidity and prefer standing water. Mosquitoes need water to breed and mammals to feed on, and humans are the primary food source for most Aedes mosquitoes. This map shows the range of Aedes aegypti, one of the two most prominent mosquito vectors of the virus. These mosquitoes live in tropical areas, as can be seen represented by the red dots on this map. Most of the red dots are near oceans, and most of them are in lower latitudes, away from where colder winters will occur. All right, the Zika virus also causes illness in humans, as we discussed earlier in the background. Zika infections can vary from no symptoms at all to minor symptoms and to more extreme symptoms that could sometimes lead to death. One study said that only 20% of Zika infections result in illness. And the symptoms can include anything from fever to headaches to joint pain, rashes, and conjunctivitis, with more severe symptoms including neurological disorders like Guillain-Barré and birth defects in children born to infected mothers. These birth defects can be anything from stillbirth to microcephaly to just parts of the body not being formed properly. All right, mosquitoes transmit the Zika virus. They are the number one way that the Zika virus is transmitted. A majority of the infections of the virus are caused by a mosquito bite. Mosquitoes pass the virus on to humans through the saliva in their mouths when they bite you, and then mosquitoes can contract the virus from humans by feeding on an infected individual's blood. The virus can also be spread through human activities that involve interacting with each other's bodily fluids. This can be saliva, urine, blood, anything. Commonly, it is transmitted by sex, blood transfusions, organ transplants, and it's spread in utero from mother to child. Human actions are causing climate change. So our actions are releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases cause a warming effect, which is predicted to raise temperatures by 1 to 5 degrees Celsius in the next 100 years. Our car emissions include large amounts of carbon, as do factory emissions, and as do the aerosols that are in our hairsprays, our bug sprays, our cooking sprays, pretty much any of the sprays that come in a metal can. Now, deforestation is also forcing animals out of their natural habitats. This includes mosquitoes. Humans are urbanizing much of the world, which produces more carbon than the natural landscape would, and prevents carbon sequestering that many plant species participate in. Overpopulation of humans is causing limitations on resources that other animals, including mosquitoes, need. And greenhouse gas warming is also leading to more extreme weather and more rainfall in some areas. All right, now climate change is shifting the ranges of mosquitoes. Now, in the last slide, we discussed how temperatures are rising, humans are moving into areas mosquitoes typically inhabited without humans, rainfall is increasing in areas, and also the relative humidity is increasing due to rainfall increasing. So due to high temperatures rising by such a large amount, mosquitoes will be able to move into higher latitudes, so further from the equator. Higher amounts of rainfall will also allow for mosquitoes to move into more drought-ridden areas. So places that were more deserty and didn't get a whole lot of rain will now be seeing more mosquitoes due to there being the water the mosquitoes need to reproduce. Higher humidity due to the increase in rain will also allow for a higher water amount that mosquitoes need to reproduce. This map shows the predicted range of the Aedes albopictus mosquito after climate change. Aedes albopictus is one of the other two common mosquitoes that vector the virus. And you can see how much more space is covered in this map versus the map in the earlier slide. Now, Aedes albopictus and Aedes aegypti have the same ranges, so these maps would be valid for both of them. All right, so mosquitoes are moving closer to humans. So humans are destroying mosquito habitats like we discussed earlier, and they're urbanizing so much land, and this will lead to mosquitoes living in the same areas as humans. So humans are moving into mosquitoes areas, they're getting rid of mosquito habitats, but with urbanization, they're bringing along more food, because humans are food for these mosquitoes, and since there's so many humans packed in such a small space, there is more food readily available to these mosquitoes, and they won't have to fly as far to get it. Urban centers often have many puddles or places for water to pool. So different containers like dumpsters, trash cans, potholes, all kinds of stuff where water can sit. And standing water is the best place for mosquitoes to breed and lay eggs. So this more readily available standing water will also help the mosquitoes reproduce in these areas. And the asphalt in urban centers also leads to higher temperatures in the areas. So if an urban center is just a little bit out of range for these mosquitoes, it can still be home to them just because the asphalt in a city typically raises the temperature by a degree or two, which makes it more habitable. So all of these factors together are making it so mosquitoes can very easily move into urban centers. All right, so our take-homes for today are that the Zika virus causes strong symptoms in some patients, while it causes minor symptoms in others, and the strong symptoms can be deadly in some cases. The virus is transmitted by Aedes mosquitoes, mainly Aedes albopictus and Aedes aegypti. Human actions are causing climate change. So a lot of our actions produce higher carbon emissions that are triggering greenhouse warming effects, which allow for better climate conditions for mosquitoes to thrive. Climate change makes ranges shift. Like I said earlier, climate change is making more habitable regions for these mosquitoes due to higher temperatures, more rainfall, and higher humidity. And mosquitoes will become present in more human populated areas. This is due to the benefits of urbanization to mosquitoes, like there being more food and more standing water. Thank you all for watching my presentation. I hope you learned something from it.